Hi, and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Hanley. I'm a car part reseller from Scotland. With me is Sam. She's a clothing reseller from Australia, where it is nice and sunny. I've just moved you to the wrong screen. There you go. My apologies. Um, I'm freezing. I'm absolutely freezing. The weather's definitely changed. It's getting harder to get up, um, and it just sucks. And I wish I lived in Australia right now.
Yeah, I'm swimming over here in like 40-degree weather. Sorry,
Is it Celsius or
Celsius.
Fahrenheit? Celsius.
It's
So
about it's close to 100 degrees Celsius, I think. Sorry, Fahrenheit.
that's crazy.
I know.
So good. That's the one thing I miss from South Africa. It's just the weather. Like if I could just have the weather, it would be so good.
No,
It's so
that's
grey as well. It's not good for your like waking up in the morning and just grayness. I bought myself a sun lamp. So the sun rises in my room. It starts rising like 20 minutes before the alarm goes off. And then it like gradually makes the room lighter. And then when you wake up, it's like full sunlight. There's no heat though. I think if I could build a sun lamp with a built-in heater, I could make thousands, like millions. Don't you
it
think
also
so?
sounds
If
like
I could like artificially create sunrise and heat in people's rooms. There probably is something like that. I don't know. Maybe I should look into it.
it's probably called a radiator on a timer.
I have a I have a radiator. I haven't put my heating on yet though. I'm trying to save money.
Yeah,
Um, it's only October.
I know. I'm trying not to put the air conditioner on for
Oh,
the same reason.
yeah, but they're pretty much the same. Like when it comes. Oh, here's an interesting thing you want to talk about. My Instagram's trying to convince me that the world is flat. You know that way, like your social media tries to like push something on you. Like my Instagram's trying to convince me that the world is flat. It's sending me all these people and all these reasons why the world is flat with the firmament over it and all that stuff. And it's quite fascinating. I'm watching like all
Do you know what
this.
the weirdest thing is? That's the second time I've heard this conversation today. I'm spinning out. That's
Like
so.
I think they're trying to convince us. This is crazy. And like the poles and like the ice is a bowl that holds us in from the edge, right? And then it's the earth, and then there's like this firmament over it, and the planets and the sun and the moon is just like turning that way around the flat thing. That was like so someone actually took the time to make a graphic displaying this, and I was like, this is crazy. Anyway, so that got me into moon travel, which was fun as well. You know,
What?
I know there's lots of like conspiracy theories about did we actually go to the moon? Like, how come no one else went to the moon? It turns out a lot of people have been to the moon, like a lot.
I'm gonna reel you back in.
Sorry. Where I was going with this is that the water that is on the earth is the same water that has been on the earth since the beginning. Like we're just reusing the same water. Like the same water that we're using and drinking and like excreting right now is the same water that like the ancient Egyptians had.
More interestingly is that they've found in the round Earth's circle center is actually the largest body of water that's known on Earth. So there's more water inside the planet than there is on the outside that you
What
can
do you
see.
think is in there? That's where all the monsters come from, isn't it?
It's probably where the things from my nightmares are stored, yes.
Anyway, I was fascinated because someone else had mentioned to me as well about the flat earth thing. And I was like, look how social media and technology pushes it out to everyone at the same time and we're not even realizing it. Like, how odd is that all of a sudden it's this whole and flat earthers have been around forever, right? This isn't a
Well,
new
yeah.
theory. This has been around since the beginning of time. Well, at the beginning they did think it was flat, didn't they? It's only
Yeah.
when they started doing like so it's been around for ages and I was just like, why are you trying to like and full on like every post, every reel, like it's like the earth is flat, the earth is flat. And I'm like, this is what?
I'm
Anyway,
genuinely tripped out. I can't, like, I went to go pick up some stuff at the post office and had literally the exact same conversation.
that's crazy, isn't it?
It's so
On the
weird.
other side of the world. On the other side of the world. Um, or we're just like really telepathically linked. But anyway, whether the world is flat or a sphere or a triangle or whatever suits your fancy, these days you can just pick and choose whatever you like, apparently. So whatever shape you live on, which do you. We still here trying to build a business and get some money, you know?
And for like the 10% of people that are still here after our flat earth discussion, we have a topic for today. And I brought it for once.
I like to be weird at the start just to make sure that the right type of people stay.
I like it.
Yeah.
It really does filter out. And by the way, I'm still getting messages about people that want to hear the unedited version of the Pine Gap discussion.
Sam will have to be ready to risk her life. She's the
Well,
one with information.
I have information to share with you off camera about some Pine Gap's conspiracy theories.
I want that coin, man. I've never wanted to go visit you more. I adore you, and like I want to see you too. But I want to go to Pine Gap.
You know you can't drive there, right?
You. There's no such thing as can't.
Well,
There's
there is. There's men with guns.
tons. Love a man in uniform. Anyway, back to our topic for today. Sam's got a topic, so she's gonna have to bring it because I'm just waffling now.
All right, so we're going to discuss the 4 stages of business mastery, Hanley.
I also just want to say that I think it got lost on everyone that it's the same water. Like the same. Do you know how many people have drank this water, came out the other side? Like it's the same water. This kept me up for hours. And I don't even know if I'm right about this. Please don't come for me. I'm just saying, like, I thought for a lot longer than I want to admit about the fact that me and people at the beginning of time have been using the same water.
Do we
Anyway,
need to
back to
break down how oxygen is like part water and how like every time you breathe out you expel water, and technically fat if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty science of it all, like CO2 contains a lot
I'm
of fat.
just not smart enough for the science.
But
Like,
yeah,
stay in my lane.
relatively, yes. It just exists in different forms. So like the sun evaporates water and it goes into the clouds, and the clouds rain down and it goes into water catchments, and then you
Yes.
consume it from within a tap, and then it goes within your body, and then you excrete it every second of every day through sweat, through breath, through bodily functions. And then it literally just goes back through the same cycles. So the same water that created the plants that you fed your plants probably was inside of humans at some point in time. It was just a different molecule.
How does that not blow people's minds? It is just,
Science
and
is super fascinating.
how incredibly all of this has been made, right, to work that way, which is just, it blows my mind. Like the way everything is just intertwined into all of that. Then surely it cannot be that hard to build a successful eBay business. And yet, here we are. Here we
And
are.
it's been like 40 something episodes and we're still learning, Hanley.
We're still here trying to figure it out, which, like, to me, all of this just points to the fact that there is so much more that we don't know, we'll never know, and that you got to keep striving to know. You have to at least try, like, at least try to understand things, you know?
So we're going to break down the stages because I realized that I'm actually stuck in stage 2
Of
and
development.
of 4. Yeah. So I messaged you during the week about it. It might have been last week. I have no concept of time. But we're going to start at stage 1, which is the excitement and chaos stage. So where you still have the excitement, you're like filled with adrenaline and everything feels new and shiny and it's full of optimism and everything else. So once we get through that and the chaos comes from the lack of structure and not actually understanding what you're doing, you move into stage 2, which is where I firmly cemented and planted myself, which is the consistency and discipline stage. You want work done? Give it to me. That's what I do. But the novelty wears off. So I messaged you whenever it was, bear with me, and said that I've realized that discipline is actually just like groundbreakingly boredom tolerance. Yeah. So I realized that I used to hedge my ability to get my listings done on how my eBay sales were that day. So if it was pumping, I'd pump the listings. I don't care. Like money's raining from the sky, but we've had some bad days recently and it's been much harder to be able to get those listings up over the last couple months. So I've realized that the actual separator between consistency and discipline is just how much boredom you can tolerate and just sitting there and actually getting it done when you feel like quitting and going and doing absolutely anything else.
But that's the first real challenge anyone's going to face in building a business, right? Is do you have the ability to endure? Do you have the
Mhm.
ability to keep going when the excitement wears off? And that applies to so many things in our lives. You can apply the same thing to a new relationship, right? You can apply the same thing to anything and everything you do. It's
Mm.
easy to do with excitement and adrenaline, right? So
Mhm.
easy. But those who endure, like I was actually thinking about this morning. This is crazy to me. When I started reselling, mind you, this was during COVID. There were resellers everywhere. The reseller community was massive on Instagram, on YouTube. There was like hundreds of, like, in the UK, I'm talking about. I looked the other day how little reselling still happens on Instagram. People just aren't on there, as the community isn't how it was. There's not that many YouTubers left. Channels have fallen everywhere. Um,
Cool.
and it comes back down to, I think, exactly what you've just said. When it becomes the norm and it becomes mundane and it becomes every day, most people would rather go in search of the next exciting thing.
You chase the dopamine, which is where when your sales are pumping, it's so easy to list because there's the dopamine that's pumping into you. But I've actually realized I need to invert that and I need the dopamine to come from a different source so I can just tolerate the boredom because it's just we're literally every day we have to do the same thing and it's not anything that's exciting. It's literally just data input. Like anyone could do it. So I've found that I've cemented myself in that stage, and I kind of have realized that I need to branch out of that, which is to stage three, which is I think where you're firmly there, which is refinement and optimization. So because you're moving into getting your husband on board, Martin's coming into the business, you've hired people, you're now at the point where you've got the fundamentals down, the boredom's not a problem anymore, and now you're moving into the polishing and you're chasing the perfection instead of the progress because you know that within the perfection comes the progress, if that makes sense.
But is that not just because I wanted to get out of that boredom stage though? That, like, is if your need to get out of it is strong enough, you will naturally progress to refinement.
That's interesting.
No?
So it's, I don't know, I'm still working out that I need to just be bored and accept that. Um, so you're asking the wrong person. So I'm assuming that perhaps it was your ability to create the systems that allowed you to do that. Because once you've got the systems fully down, like from an outsider looking in, it looks like you have everything like polished.
I would say it was more my desire to not want to do it anymore. That made me realize that if this is where I am, I'm going to
Mhm.
have to keep doing this stuff. Or I can choose to grow to the point where my business can sustain someone else doing it and me making more money than I'm making right now. That was the choice I was faced with. And that was the choice that me and Martin spoke about. Like where we are right now with just me in the business and you part time and working full time, this is where we're going to stay forever.
Mm.
So we have to decide, are we happy with this because this is manageable and this is maintained, or do we want more? And if we want more, we need to go substantially more to get you out of your job, to get other people in to come do the boring stuff so that we can work on the other stuff, right? But I think what needs to happen is there has to be a choice. Like you're going to choose, this is where I want to be. Because I think this stage happens very much when you reach what you feel like at that time is the ceiling of what you're capable of. And now you're like, okay, this is what I can achieve. I just need to sit here and do this every day. But that brings in a unique opportunity to decide, actually, I want more than that. So I need to look at delegation, automation, refining of process as a way to find more. No?
Whoa, that's very much what I had down as stage 4, which is scale and freedom. Scale and freedom. So you're quietly confident, you've got everything sorted, you've working to replace yourself in the machine, essentially. But there is a risk that I've realized that comes with that, which is that you can lose connection with the product, you can lose connection with the suppliers, you can lose connection with essentially the brand and what's actually happening within your business.
I would say the stage that where you have to deal with just the boredom of doing it is probably the stage where we lose the most businesses.
It's actually the highest risk. That's
Yes,
what I've realized. Yeah.
because
We could do a whole episode on just that.
that completely depends on your stamina and your ability to make it through that. But the thing is though, you get stuck there and then you think this is how it's going to be forever and you get dejected.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. And I don't know how you can like, I've made peace with that. Like, I'm okay with just doing the same thing every day, and once I realized that I just have to push through being bored, I'm
Uh-huh.
totally okay with that. It was when I didn't realize that that's what it was, like, there was no word for it,
Yes.
um, that I was able to just accept, not necessarily my fate, but obviously when the AI and stuff comes into Australia, then there's ways to be able to leverage that to take yourself out of the business as well, and free up time. But I've realized that every single brand, every single company has had to scale through the ridiculousness of the boredom and the which is the consistency. Like, there's no way to get around it. You have to do the reps.
But then even if you bring AI in, yes, that frees up your time, but it also decreases your income. So
Yeah, it depends on the cost point.
you have to decide what's the give or take. So then do you want to do more to adjust for that? Or do you want to I think this is so dangerous because this is the point where you either have to be content or you get stuck. Like if you
Or you
get
burn out.
yes, that's true that as well. Like burnout is so real. Like you got to this stage and you're like, I'm content with what's going on now. I just need to get myself to be bored and suck it up, right? And
Exactly.
that's a good place to be as well because you're realizing it and you're in it and you're working on it. But you can also get to this stage and say, I can't keep doing this. This cannot work anymore. You're either going to give up or you need to progress to the next stage, which is like, I need to refine, I need to build, I need to automate to get out of this stage.
I would love to hear how you did that, if you can share.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like for me, it was very much driven by I cannot do this anymore. It's killing me mentally. It's like where you're sitting and you're like, I'm actually fine to do this. I just need to sit in the boredom. I was like, I cannot sit in the boredom. This will literally sink me. I will quit reselling if this is what you're telling me it has to offer me.
Why?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the mind brain numbing part of just doing the data entering and the processing. It was killing me
You
inside.
you could watch every single conspiracy theory documentary ever on a screen while you're doing it.
And that's great, but that doesn't stimulate my mind and my thought. Like
The
conspiracy theories
conspiracy
are great. I have no control over them. So what if the earth is flat? Then what do I do? No, but really, okay, so there we go. You've proven to me the earth is flat. What change did that make to my daily life?
0.
This
There's
is
one
my
simple rise.
exactly, and this is my problem. Like, I enjoy listening to that stuff. The reason I enjoy conspiracy theories is because I actually just enjoy hearing people think out loud.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I love to hear how people process information. That's why I like it so much. Like, I
That's
can give you the information, I have the information, and we'll have completely different ways of processing it. I need my mind to be on and stimulated by things that I can affect.
okay. So this is perfect because I think that where I have found the greatest, so I realized it was boredom, right? Was what I had to sit through. And I've realized that everything on earth has like a polar opposite, which is what you just said. So
Yeah.
like the sun will rise, it will set. There's a moon, there's a sun, whatever. Um, so if I'm bored, I need something to stimulate me more than the task that's at hand. So I need to be able to find something to balance that with. So
Okay.
I need to be able to get through the work fast enough, tolerate the boredom to then be able to not do the grind 24/7 and actually go do stuff that I find that stimulates me so that I can actually sit through the boredom easier.
But isn't that you already moving on to step 3 then? Because you need to refine to make it take less time so you don't have to grind so you can move on.
Well, there's nothing more humbling than having every single refinement that you've ever made in your business be made not by you, but by your partner, who just is sick of
Oh.
having you work all the time. Because that's not what my brain is like. My brain is not there to be able to refine things. Like, that's not how it operates. Whereas I
Right.
think you do that really well.
Wait, let's go back. I want to turn this around on you because you brought the topic, you said things, and then I like, wait, go back. So you, no, let's talk about you and your
Yeah.
business. You said this is where you're stuck, right? Okay, so
Mhm.
how did you know? How did you identify yourself as being stuck in this step? What did you see in your business or feel in your business where you were like, okay, crap, this is where I'm at?
Well, it's through repeated conversations with you that, like, you're making these advancements and I'm not, and I have realistically no, like, interest apart from getting the AI. I don't wanna hire people, like, I operate from my house, there's nowhere to put them. I could drive around and drop off USBs to people and have them just, like, upload photos and stuff, that's not a problem. Or I could set them up with a photo station in their house, but there's so many factors that come with having someone work out of their own house as a subcontractor and stuff like that within your company that it's just sticky and I don't really want to deal with it. So it's through having it mirrored back to me through your advancements, like you've just signed a new lease, you're bringing more and more people on, that I'm like, oh, I'm just stuck at number 2. I'm not, my refinements I've never done. They've been given to me on a silver platter.
I feel like that you using this word "I'm stuck here" is some kind of mental cage you built yourself because we share numbers and our businesses are very much on similar tracks. I'm just doing it differently. Like our
Yes,
profit, our numbers, our even down to things like our ASPs and things, they're
of
quite similar given it's different categories and we've got different currencies. Obviously, those things.
course, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't like.
No, it's interesting because I've realized that there's 2 different ways to build businesses. So I'm stuck to be only me because I'm not looking to bring in more people. I will bring on a team of AI as soon as I possibly can, and I've taken more of a forward facing with that. I'm just like, you know what, I want it. I'm just going to go tell these people exactly how I want it and tell them to go build it. So that's them. I'm sick of waiting. But I don't want to bring people on. I don't want a warehouse. I just am happy doing it the way that I'm doing it now. And yes, I am at this stage keeping up with you. However, your growth in the last 90 days has been exceptional and mine's gone down. That is
Mm,
partly to do with the time of year and stuff like that. But
mm.
I think you'll see very soon that you're going to excel past me, which is really interesting because you're scaling to freedom. I'm trying to withdraw as much equity as possible to scale to freedom, but I don't want to scale within eBay to have eBay consistently be the business as my vehicle out of here.
Neither do I. My new
No,
lease will be up in 5 years and then I'll be done with eBay. Like that's it. That's me done. In 5
I
years
don't.
when the lease expires, I'm out of eBay and I'm done. I'm trying to scale the business to a point where it brings in enough money for the plan we have set to build freedom to be possible within the next 5 years, which is what this last 8 months of my life has been about. And I've made a lot of decisions and choices that other people look at and maybe say that's not the best choice. But I know what I'm building so that on the 1st of January, when my new warehouse is set up, I'm already on track and on pace to hit the 5-year exit,
That's amazing.
right? But
Yeah.
wait, no, I would also be really worried if I did all of this and you were still able to keep up with me as one person. I would literally be crying. Like that would traumatize me. If I had to do all of this and you're just cruising in your house like one person, like I would jet. So we have
You have no idea how much I wanna do that now. You have no idea.
we have different objectives
Hmm.
that leads to the same result, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
So what you see as being stuck, I guess I'm wondering why that's not just you being where you set out to be on pace for where you're going.
That's an interesting point. Maybe this is another one of those, like, chasing someone else's hill things.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking now. Like what
Mm,
like I we have so many conversations and I see your business
right.
so much. Like everything in your business is exactly where it needs to be for you to go where you've always said you were going.
Mm,
But how is that being stuck?
that's a good point. So I have been reading a lot about Steve Jobs and Apple,
Sure.
and he has this concept of signal and noise, and Elon Musk has nailed this. And I've brought it up on here before, which is, yeah, you pick like your 3 core tasks that will get you closest to what
Mm,
your goal is for the day, and you just do them and ignore the noise. And I think maybe I've inadvertently picked up on other people's noise because there's such like a rush at the moment to
mm.
for the people that are left to be able to like scale through whether it's AI or
Yes.
um, and I think that's partly because, as you mentioned, a lot of people have left
Mm,
reselling. Like I think back over the hundreds of people that I've actually spoken to in reselling, and a lot of them aren't there. And there's a lot of people looking to get employment right now because sales are much slower in Australia than this time last year. But every year on eBay for the last 3 years, according to eBay's own data, their sales have gone down in clothing. So we can safely confirm that that's going to continue to happen. And that's not through Australia not having money. Like I have Lauren's business to completely contrast, and it's massage. Like nobody needs a massage. You may need physio, but massage is primarily a relaxation thing. She's fully booked. She's at work now. She opened up 2 extra days because of the fact that she's got so many people that want to book in. Amazing. But that implies that there's still money in the economy. So it's not to do with people not having money. Like people are still buying stuff that's not necessary. So it's not that. It's eBay, whether it's like brand association, people have been done over before, wherever people's attention are, I think is where we need to be. Um, but I do think that in amongst all of this, perhaps um, I've allowed other people's ideas of what they're doing to get inside my head. And watching you just like leap over the last few months has been something to like be in awe of. And I think that maybe has clouded it as well.
But Sam, I have a very different life than you. I have three children. I have more. Like, if you look at what I need in my life to achieve the same freedom that you're trying to achieve, that's two very different hills. Like we have to climb,
That's a good point.
and that's my choice. I chose to have my children. I chose
Mm,
this choices I made means I have a bigger hill when we talk about financial freedom than some other people,
mm,
right?
that's a good
And maybe you got to the point where you realized I'm on track, I'm on pace, I'm finally doing it. Now I just need to be bored and do it. And then you were like,
point.
let's overanalyze this.
I do have a habit of looking for problems.
I'm not suggesting it, but I think you have a very active mind. You're very intelligent. You like to process, you like to think, you like to like set things out, you like to hear perspectives. And I think you've figured it out, got yourself where you need to go, and now you're in that danger zone of can you keep yourself there?
I also am just naturally someone that likes to fix problems,
Yes.
hence my previous employment for over a decade. Yeah, you're spot
Did
on.
really
Also,
well.
that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, either on camera or off.
What
It's
did
like
I
a
say?
record.
Let me go back, take it back. What did I say?
I'll
That was
edit it, don't worry.
don't ruin my reputation.
I
Nice.
can't.
I'm not nice. Um, I think this is so difficult because this is the part that this is my weakness is where you are right now. If I were where you are right now, that would that would be my weakness. And I think it's a lot of people's weakness because we've lost the ability to be bored as human beings in
Oh, for sure.
general, right?
Mhm.
Which is a whole different conversation. But even in 2, 3 minutes here waiting in line, you're on your phone getting a dopamine hit. You your time off
Mm.
is spent in front of screens being entertained, or this is just a general thing we have in our culture. And so boredom and repetition is the weakness in most of us. And so to have the strength and ability to endure that, even when you see results from it, it can still be tough to just keep your
For
head
sure.
down and keep going. So what are you planning to do to help you keep on track?
Oh, I've like totally embraced. So this is going to sound completely like opposing to everything I've ever said on this podcast, but I've realized that to get through the boredom, I need to do stuff like have the TV playing in the background because I don't have office banter that I can just go and like chat
Yeah,
to people. So I
yeah,
need to have something. And to I love reading and I love podcasts and I love expanding my mind, but there is to a point where I can't actually consume any more of that motivational growth stuff.
yeah,
So I need to just literally numb out
yeah,
and just have something like I'm rewatching Dexter as I'm listening at the moment because I have absolutely zero things that I can watch and consume. But I also have realized that the plug today won't be the same plug to fix the boredom tomorrow. So I've just come off the back of binging every single crime podcast you could ever possibly imagine. And if you ever need to know about serial killers anywhere in the world, I've got your back. But that wore out and it eventually stopped being the numbing that just allowed me to sit in a chair.
yeah.
So for the moment, I need to just rotate through either pop culture references or documentaries or podcasts about things that aren't educational to get me through. But I think that's demonized a little bit because thinking about it, people like Alex Hormozy are like, you must sit there with headphones on and like block out everything. And
Yeah.
I can do that. There are days where that's perfect, but
Mhm.
it doesn't get me through every day. And it
Mhm.
won't get me through every day. So I need to be able to flex and move with the fact that I'm tired and I'm cranky and I need something to get me through it.
Do you find not just reselling, but building a business, do you find it lonely sometimes?
Very often.
Yeah. I think I had this conversation with my friend Matt from Project Games,
Mm.
where there was a period in time where I was very active on Instagram and in the reselling community, and then taking sports group on Instagram, on like going in other people's groups and stuff. And I was very vocal and part of the broader community and stuff. And then um everything changed very quickly for me, and I stopped participating in the community. Other than this podcast is the only link I really still have to community. And at first it was refreshing, and at first it was joyful almost to not have that and to just live your life in quiet and peace and stuff. But as time goes on, it does get lonely,
Yeah.
not having that community or those people around me. And that's been very tough. I spoke to Martin a lot about it, how a lot of my days were just spent in silence
Yeah.
with
For sure.
myself.
Mm.
And that I found that really, really hard. And I think also that's a reason why I maybe push so hard for other people and for Martin to come into the business to break that barrier of loneliness. I genuinely miss having coworkers
Yeah. I miss being able to be a smart ass to someone and have someone laugh at my
so
joke.
much. No one
Yeah.
knows how funny I am when I'm the only one here.
I feel that so deeply. But then I run the risk if we were in the same room, we'd probably get no work done.
Not we two can't work together, no, because we'll either be talking or arguing. There's no in between. Like there's
Literally
no in
not.
between. Like we can't work together. But I have
Great.
found it. But I've also found it, interestingly enough, I found it harder and harder to for a society that says they're accepting and tolerable. I'm finding it difficult to actually find, I guess, people in spaces where just being you is fine. And
Mhm.
that's the part I struggle with. Like, I can go find a lot of people to talk to, but who do I have to be in those conversations? I just want to be me.
This is so interesting. So, and I'm going to segue slightly to come back around. So,
Yes, sir.
I have moved to a company structure. So,
Hmm.
I updated on Facebook that I'm the director of the company, mostly
Yes.
because of the loan application. If the bank runs through
Yeah.
my name, I want them to actually see that that's what that is. Do you know how many people messaged me to say, "Congrats, you've got a real job now?" I'm like, "I'm still doing the same thing. That's what you think of what I was doing?" Like, oh, wow, that's so the lonely phase when you're doing something different to what the norms are doing, like, these
Yeah.
people are meant to be my friends, and some of them were my family. Like, that was not lost on me. So, the lonely phase, we can only really explain what we do to what people around us do the same thing. Like, what we do is incredibly niche.
Yeah.
Um, so there's also the judgment that you have to deal with to do something that's against the norm.
I think that's, if anything, that's the stage where I found myself stuck in the most. It's just that isolation phase. And I want to be very clear, in my own life, I have many people who I care for and who care for me.
Mm,
I'm talking specifically people who can relate to what we're doing in the business. Because that, like you say, that's a completely different conversation. I can go try tell my mom or my sister or my friends outside of reselling what's going on, but it's not the same conversation you're having. They can be
mm.
supportive and motivating, but it's still not the same conversation. And I think dealing with the boredom and the mundane of every day gets so much harder when it's just you and your thoughts trying to do it sometimes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes that's what you need. But I think that was also a big push for me. I really wanted to get back to a space where it was Martin was in the business, and there were other people.
Out of curiosity, do you think you 2 will go working 24 hours a day? Well, not working 24 hours a day, but being around each other 24 hours a day, because that's also a massive change.
Uh, he's around a lot more now. He's kind of phasing out at work, so he spends most days here with me now. Um, and it's gone fine. There's a lot better communication, which helps a lot more when you're not living past each other, texting each other what's going on. And it's actually no, but it has, and
That's true.
it's done a lot better just being able to talk about things there and then and like ask questions there and then. I'm sure we all have our ups and downs. Everyone does. We're doing life together, all of it, parenting, marriage, business, like that's what we do, and that will be tough. But if I'm going to struggle with anyone, I want it to be with him.
That's a great way of putting that.
So
Like, you're both working for the same dream, so you might
exactly.
as well struggle through it together.
I said to him yesterday, the odds of the two of us finding each other on the opposite side of the world who has the same mindset and the same goals and are able to build a business the same day is nothing other than divine intervention of God. Because there's no way you can find two people who can be this
Stubborn.
different and on track. It's incredible and odd.
Stubborn.
I know. Yes, we are stubborn. I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. I don't mind. I'm also
You're not
small.
wrong, but you are the company you keep as well, so like, I had no interest in building a business, but when I met Lauren, she had a business, and I was like, "That sounds great, let's do that." Because you're your own boss, you pick and choose your own hours, like but then you get into business and you realize you don't pick and choose your hours, it's every hour. It's such a myth. Like,
I
you actually have to get through it.
think I actually know people who chose to have not the same financial goals, and they do have businesses where they get to pick and choose their hours because they're choosing to live off and be content with less. I think the problem is if we set the goals I've set for myself and the things my family needs because of the family I chose to have,
Mm,
that's not possible for me.
which makes sense. I mean, it would be possible, but you would sacrifice what you want in the process of, and you will always wonder, "What if?"
Yes. And also that the opportunities I want to give my kids. Like they've tried
Mm.
about everything under the sun at this point. And but no, but like and so I think that again comes to the choices you make and where you want to settle yourself, which is completely
Mm,
up to you. And I know people who work 2, 3 days a week and they have the most beautiful content life. I know people who work 7 days a week and they also have a beautiful content life.
mm. It just depends on what you wanna get out of it.
It's when you're trying to be what you're not and trying to achieve what you don't actually want where the trouble comes in.
That's interesting. Now link that back to the boredom thing. Do you think that's a compounding factor to why stage 2 is so hard?
Yes, because if you
Mm,
don't actually want it that bad, you're gonna give up. Why would you sit through boredom and suffer through boredom to get something you don't actually really want?
that's a really good point.
No?
On
I
that, let's give people positivity.
Oh, I was being positive. What is not positive about that? Go build
No,
a
no,
life.
no, I mean, like, perhaps people will take that as, "Oh, maybe I don't actually really want this
I
if I
want
can't muscle
this.
through it."
Then that go find out what you really want, and I promise you muscling through it won't be that hard. But
That's true.
stop doing what other people tell you you want. Figure out what you want and go do what you want, even if it doesn't look like what other people want. That's fine. Go do your thing.
So that's this is such an interesting conversation because, I was speaking to Lauren just yesterday about how, like, I was a nurse for over a decade, and I was like, "But I didn't wanna be that.
Yeah.
I just did it because that's what everyone else did at my year level at uni, and, that's what they did uni-wise." And she was like, "Yeah, but what do you wanna do now?" And I was like, "Not this." Like, I
Mm,
really, really like the art of buying and selling,
mm.
but on this smaller scale, I'm not a big fan. Like, I would like to get into the bigger like, the idea of buying and selling houses, like, the high that would come from that would be so much better than just selling, like, a top on eBay for, like, $30.
Your ability to push through and endure things you don't like to get what you really want just shows that what you're aiming for is what you really want.
Yes, that's the thing that I've realized is ultimate, like, ability to just go and travel. Like, the happiest I've ever been in my entire life was when I was living out of a backpack overseas because I didn't have anywhere to be. I could just explore and just witness beauty. Like, there is stuff in this world that is just so hard to comprehend, and it's not found inside these 4 walls.
If you gave me a backpack and took me to Europe and say you have nowhere to be and you just need to look at nature all the time, I will be miserable. Miserable.
Really?
Yes, absolutely miserable. And yet, that's when you were the happiest, which just proves
Mm,
again what you're willing to endure has to be linked to what you really want. Like, when I
yeah.
say I want freedom and free time, I don't want it to have a backpack and look at nature. Like, if you're
Well,
telling me that's what I'm gonna get, I'm out.
no, that's what I want.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we can't link it to what other people want or tells you you want. You have to actually want it, which is why I think I've been able to keep going a lot longer than probably most people thought I would. Is
Yeah.
because I really, really, really want better for my children. I am a first generation immigrant and I want better. I want to positively contribute. I want to positively integrate. I want to create a life and opportunities for my children. And that's why we keep doing it. That's it. Maybe they want a backpack and go look at nature. Go for it. I don't know. You do you. I don't want to come.
With your generational wealth, they'll just go blow
Hey,
it
exactly.
overseas.
Exactly. They can go, that's great. You do you. That's not coming.
I do think that you're spot on with if it's aligned with a greater vision, then the boredom is much easier to tolerate. You're so spot on.
Still not fun though.
No, some days it's like pulling teeth, hence my ability to now watch Dexter.
Oh, pulling teeth, thanks. Um, is it harder to stay consistent in this phase? Because it's boring.
I think once I realized that what it was boredom that was annoying me, because there was something that I couldn't, like, pinpoint what it was that made it hard. As soon as I realized it was boredom and that what was stimulating me intellectually the day before, I was burnt out from listening to the next day, and I need to find a plug. Once I've overcome that and accepted that whatever works today probably won't work tomorrow or it won't work in a month, um, the whole, like, framework of everything has completely changed. Like, I feel so much more content just
Yeah.
knowing that I just have to, like, suck it up, and the faster I suck it up, like, that's not even a word.
In the good
That's not even
way.
a word. The faster I suck it up for the day, then I'm actually able to just go do whatever else I want to do. So my productivity has been much higher once I've accepted it, basically.
So is that the plan going forward? For how long is this the plan?
Until I can get some AI.
And how long do you see that realistically taking?
While,
A while,
basically, it's
yeah.
a little while. A couple months, like, what's a couple months? Like, it's been like 10 months already this year, and I haven't, it feels like I just blinked. So another couple months really will fly by. Um, and then all I have to do really is one task, which is photos and shipping, which is another, sorry, 2 tasks. So
Yeah.
kind of sounds like I could take up a hobby at this point.
You could. Not
Hmm,
traveling though, because you still need to do your work. No
thanks,
backpack
Henry.
for you.
Thanks, Henry. Nah, the next plan is to use the time to actually find the properties. So, like, getting under a company structure is what I needed to do to be able to purchase it, just for asset protection and stuff like that. Consult some other financial person. Don't take my word for it. I'm just a person on the internet. So all the pieces of the puzzle have nicely come together. So now it is actually just the going and finding and acquiring something that fits the brief.
I've always admired your ability to just do it anyway. There's been many times I've messaged and I was like, I can't be asked at this day. Like I can't. And then she just yells at me and swears at me and I have to go do it anyway. But
There's
uh,
been times where you've messaged me saying that you were crying, and it was only your disdain for me that made you do the listings that day.
that's true. That is
Mm.
true. But I think it's such a powerful discipline to have, to master, like making yourself do it anyway, that I don't see how you can't be successful in the future.
I think that once you realize what it is, so, like, the discipline of boredom isn't gonna get you to the gym. Like, discipline comes in many different, like,
Mm,
varieties and aspects. Then I've just unlocked for me what it is for eBay that I need to be able to, like, discipline isn't like a state of mind or state of being. It's just I have to grim and bear what I perceived as burnout, which is actually just being bored. It's not
mm.
burnout at all. Like, it's actually incredibly easy. I'm just not stimulated. But again, that won't get me to the gym. That has to come from a different place.
Right.
Mm.
Yes, nothing can get me to the gym. There's no
Right.
place.
You're incredibly disciplined in yourself. You are. Like, it doesn't come from the same boredom place. It comes from the "I won't be wrong and I won't let myself down" place. Like, it
The length I will go to prove myself right is
yeah.
embarrassing. It's
No,
embarrassing.
it's great. Great hearing.
Sometimes, like honestly. But I think I am very inspired by your business and your ability and the discipline you have and but also your ability to see things for what they are. I think I have a mind sometimes very much that needs to paint the picture to convince myself of things where you very much get a lot of your motivation and discipline from just seeing what it is for what it is and accepting that. The ability to just accept things you don't like is also such a big hack, you know?
But you do as well. You don't realize you do. And I think most people do in the wider sense. They just maybe don't realize that that's what they're doing
Yeah.
subconsciously. Like, you've
I
done it for 3 years, Hanley. Just
I don't
you've just brought someone on.
I don't see you as being stuck. I just see you as you've reached where you need to be. You're on pace. You've built the machine that needs built. And I think very much this mentality of just embracing it now is the right thing to do.
For sure. And I think a lot of people would actually be much more successful in their business if they were able to just embrace that stage. Because you can't go from stage 2 to stage 3 from stage 1. You
No,
have to sit in it so you can get the bankroll and you can build up to be able to build into being able to hire and organize systems to get yourself out. Like, you have there is no escaping the boredom.
I agree. And I think if anyone has tips or tricks for boredom, what they do when they're bored, how to get through it, put in the comments. If you have any show recommendations for Sam that she could pull through while she's getting the work done, put them in the bottom. Maybe next time we can talk a bit about what it means to move to company structures, not financial advice or anything, but just
Yeah.
how we see it and affect our business. I've always been a company just for liability reasons, but that could be quite fun because I don't think I've ever heard resellers just discussing the general around that. So if
There's
you guys,
laws about it. There was so much more about it than I didn't realize. Like, to sign to be a director, I had to read legislation. Like, there's laws about it.
I don't know,
So interesting.
we're not going to give legal or financial advice. We'll just talk about our own experiences. But if you have any questions about moving to company structures, you can put them in the comments as well. And on that, hopefully uplifting. I don't know if that was uplifting at all, but if it was, if you found it uplifting, have a great day.
And hopefully muscle through the boredom. It
Yeah,
does get easier, I swear. You just gotta embrace it
eventually. But have a good
eventually. Bye.